I would like to know what you're gonna know. Like as far as the distribution goes. No, but
Right.
like what
So we're gonna
how do you
terminate these. Put on our plug tops.
like
That we've done our wee
you wanted the branch in your
flexes.
off, say electric
So
shower,
open up your
install
plug.
an electric shower. And
So.
so you would say you put like another unit up. How would you wire that?
So your plugs come with a standard 13 amp plug in them. So if you're going to install a boiler, what are you going to check to see? That's it. Make sure it's not overrated. Make sure it's okay. And we'll then remake them. Some plugs will come with a moulded plug, some appliances. So what do you do then? If it goes faulty, what can you do if a moulded plug goes faulty? Cut it off. Yeah, just cut it off. Get yourself a new plug. So you plug in your flex, strip it back, terminate it, and then we're down to our 3. So inside your plug top then what we got? Neutral, yeah. And your live, that's it. Some plugs will have what's called a cord grip like that. Some of them will just be like a wee clamp, and the cable then just pushes in onto it. Just depends what you buy. What must you be sure of but on a plug? How can you tell that it's the prop standard? By looking at it. Has these on them. See the pins? The pins are insulated. Your live and your neutral pins insulated. If you buy them without that insulation on them, they're not a proper, they're a Chinese special or something. So they're not the standard, so don't use them. That's all it is. And your terminator, make sure you've got your flex on the cord grip itself, not just the wires. And then it's just cut them and strip them ready for use. They're just fiddly for a while till you get the hang of it, but just work your way through them. So terminate it into the plug. Live, and make sure your sheath's covered on the flex. Tighten it up. And then heat on the earth. So just leave them long enough so they'll go inside it, okay? And then do the new job.
I think I could get access in the kitchen ceiling. I think so.
What's that one?
Feed it out. So you want the light above the door and feed it around the wall.
That's number 1. And then we share our sim. How do you tell what happens if flex doesn't have an earth? What does that mean?
Double insulated.
Double insulated. Yes. Some plugs you'll buy, some appliances you buy. You ever seen them? They're set up for double insulated. Where the pin of the plugs, the earth pin, is just plastic. You don't need it. They're starting to produce them more and more, so watch out for them as well. But anything that you're doing, your regards to your, so you can cut that off and go again. Off you go. Anything you're doing regards to boilers, pumps, all that type of equipment, it'll all be earth. So your alternative end of your plug, your spur outlet. So it just takes away the need for your plug. Some of them will buy, again, you have a flex outlet at the bottom like this. Other ones have a hole in the front. It's just depends what you buy. But look for it. How you getting on? It's coming. There's more of the sort of thing you used to do, all the oil boilers and that, you plugged them in, stuck a double socket on after your time plug, plugged in your pump, plugged in the boiler. Just meant filling the system up. You didn't need the boiler on. You could just turn on the pump and let it run while you fill the system. So that's it. Just start putting them all together, connecting them up. We'll open these here up. Let these go again as well. That's another one there. There's another wee switch as well. I'll get you here as well. I'll give you another couple of plug tops. We'll keep turning it on. How you getting on with your hammer to hand?
Oh, that's alright. It's gonna be better now.
Do the same again here on this one, then we can connect these up here as well. Keep them going. You'll also see the size of the flex are different as well. This one here, it's like a 1mm flex, it's just smaller. 1.5 flex, we can go 2.5 and flexes as well. But any plug top that you're working on like this, if it's a 13 amp plug, it's maximum rated through them. It's the 3 kilowatt. That's which we can't go by that. Same with these. See if you have a spur outlet, maximum you can work on them, 3 kilowatt. Because it has the 13 amp fuse to protect it. Any switch above that you're working on, you'll see, if it doesn't have a fuse in it, then it's rated 20 amps and above. So water heaters, immersion heaters, they just have what's generally called a double pole switch that relates to it, protects it. There's the house breaker. There's more. These ones, you know what these are called? What do you call them? Landed, yeah. What's the difference between that and that?
It's IP rated.
Yeah, IP rated. This one's got a fuse on it. This one doesn't. They're not fuse protected. So it's rated at, you see on that size, they're rated at 16 amp. But when you open them up, it doesn't have any fuse protection on it. So they're ideal, but they're IP rated, outdoor use. So the likes of outdoor equipment. There's actually in our Blue Book, our regulations.
And stuff.
Yeah, our Blue Book, our regulations. There's actually a part of it, and it's about socket outlets in computer suites. And that's one of the recommendations for using sockets in a computer suite, is to use a commando plug. There's a danger on a computer suite. If I am unplugging a computer, it can actually still generate a small current, but if the current's on the earth. So when I'm unplugging a computer and my finger went in there, I could accidentally feel the current. So computer suites have rules against how they're wired, how they're set up. But if I'm unplugging that guy there, I can't get a shot because it's a totally insulated earth. I can't get at it. So that's why they recommend the likes of these. It wouldn't look the best, like, but it would still work. So, but it's just here. So that's where these come into it. It's not too common. You'll be using them, let's say, in boilers and pumps and all that sort of equipment, but it is an alternative. They're not that dear either.
Maybe it's in the future.
Yeah. We used them a lot in outdoor events, outdoor equipment.
Commandos have it.
Yeah. They're very standard rates to them, but the common term everybody sort of goes by is a commando plug. That's sort of the smallest. That's a 16 amp single phase. Then it can go red, 32 amps, and then it go higher again, go 60 amp, 120 amp, 200 amp even. And I can go right up. Different colours, different range. 3-core as well, single phase. I can also get them as a 3-phase socket. It's the only type of 3-phase plug you'll get. You'll never get any other standard plug as 3-phase. It just wouldn't happen. But you'd have to be into the core size of setup to go 3-phase. But some of your gas boilers, and you just go into gas boilers in commercial, you'll be into 3-phase supplies.
Some of the jobs I've been on have had to have temporary heat sources before the gas is switched on. And you get the temporary heat source coming
I
from
comes
the
a
3-phase plug on it.
big 3-phase plug, yeah.
3-phase motors and pumps and that.
Yeah. Just be careful. The minute you're around any sort of electricity that's, 3-phase, single phase is dangerous, but 3-phase especially, just be very careful when you're near it. You have to be. So we're going. Do you want to come and stick a couple of plugs on for me as well? Was flying on. That's okay, it's cool. So, here, this one. Get used to, I just want to use all types of plugs, freezing fan. So we'll chop this here off. Stick that onto it, just terminate that again, stick it on it. Cut this one here off, redo it. Do that again. And then I'm going to bring you down a meter here. So you see how it tests. This guy here. Here's another fancy piece of kit. So this is called a portable appliance tester. You ever heard of that? Hot test? This is it. So this tests anything that has a plug top on it. So we plug them in and we can test them. All your appliances, all your types of equipment. This will test it. It's basically the exact same as what we had in the mains tester for doing circuits, for doing installation. Only this time it's got a computerized keyboard with it. So it can do more, it can talk more, it can remember more, but it's still the same test. Still does the same test. Again, anything close on £1,000 for the equipment is where it ends up. It just becomes really expensive. And there might be a bit price. So if I
just use so your TV or just use it normal.
So there's an oil lead. There's an RV lead here. Has a moulded plug on it. So if it goes faulty, this is why you need to replace them. It starts to go faulty. There's wee cutters there, a bit better for stripping that hole with your hands. This one here, so we can cut that off. If it had to go faulty. This is how we test them as well. So I can plug this in to our tester. The other end of it is like your lead that plugs into your computer, your monitor, your kettle,
Yeah.
something like that. This is a tester for them. So I plug this in this here. So all I'm doing is exact same as you did with the earth wires. We did a continuity test, we proved it was okay. So that's what this is about to do. So this proves that your leads, your plugs, are all okay. So we get our tester, we tell the tester what we're going to do. So we tell it what we're working on, basically is how it starts off. So we've got a mains lead. What length would you say that was? What length? What do you reckon?
1.5 meters.
Yeah, okay. So that's what we tell the machine. We tell it we're working on a lead up to 2 meters long. And then we can do a test. So you look at it on this equipment, you look at it visually and you go, yeah, it looks alright. You check the plug, you run your hand down the cable, we test the flex, we test everything, we look at it visually. We can't go inside the plug because it's moulded, but we can certainly look to see if it's got the right size of fuse. So that wee one's got a 5 amp fuse on it, so it's okay. So then we tell the machine to pass it, and then what do you see? Now the continuity check we did, there's a wee continuity test being done for us. 500 volt test, it does a 500 volt test. It comes back and tells you, yep, we're all good, everything's alright. So you just, on this machine here, you can store it. This can hold up by 300 appliances in there. But anything you're working on here has a plug on it, we can test it on it. As long as it gets a path out, which is your plug, but it needs a path back in, but we can modify, we can adjust to make it all work. So whatever you've put a plug on to, whatever you've put your plug on there, we can then stick a socket, an adapter on the other end, and plug our lead into it, and that will tell us we're okay. So the one that has a plug on it, is you're down a long lead with the plug, that one there.
Yeah.
So whenever you've done that, what do you see? We'll connect a socket onto it. So where's our right, there's one there. This plug here, stick it onto that. Just adjust that. So I'll turn this off just for a minute, but make this plug, put a 13 plug on that, so it's okay. And you'll see what we're doing. Give yourself a bit of length on it now.
More than that?
Yeah. If you go too tight, it's too tight for the plug.
So say double that distance?
Yeah, that's it. So just double the distance, and then it'll terminate. It's easier to work with. Even when you're working on switches and boxes and doing your boiler controls or doing the boxes, give yourself a good 100 mil of more of the silver wire, strip it back.
So
That's better. It's better. When you go to turn in the boxes, there's plenty of room inside boxes. There's still all the room for you. So give yourselves the room for it. That's it. These strippers are handy, aren't they?
Yeah, they're a good job. Beat the pliers.
Beat the pliers. But they also don't damage the wire. It takes a while to get a feel that you're actually stripping just the plastic and you're not nicking the wire. So it just keeps you right.
So
That's it. So we'll work our way through. So change that one to that one now. So terminate this end into this end. Yeah, I just want to get you used to terminating the ends off, because when you are coming to it, it makes, Then the plan tomorrow is we'll do the heating controls. So get you used to wiring up boilers, wiring up time clocks, wiring up your wee central, your boxes, motorised valves. And they're all done through that wee wiring station, but we'll get you used to it, get the feel for it. And then Thursday, this car, he's going to take you.
What's Carl taking us for then?
This Accordia, if he's going to get you, I think Karen and him spending time with you to get you used to
I sort of log and everything.
yeah, what goes on, what you have to prepare, what you produce. So it takes a while.
From what I can gather, it's just getting on top of it, isn't it?
It is, yeah. To be honest, that I don't know a lot about the setup for it since it was went online, but it is. From what I gather, it's just putting it in the way it needs to be in.
So did you think of it?
It went on last year, yeah. Before this, the guys would have come in and did a whole course, and it was all based around paperwork. You produced all your method statements, risk assessments, everything, but it was all paper based. So now it's went to an online base. So there's still a lot involved to it, but the best way, from what I've seen, the way the working is, Carl probably say to you, is get yourselves together a wee WhatsApp group, and then you share all your info, share how you are doing it, so that all the guys can keep a track.
Yeah, that makes
Because
sense.
it's all about the evidence, and it's all about then how it gets put together. Because once it leaves, it goes to the gas EV. He's like an external verifier. So you get all the feedback, you get all the information from them to get you through. There's a lot involved to it, like it really is, because at the end of the day you're working with gas.
Yeah.
You don't want to be playing about with it.
Yeah, definitely not.
You know.
Sorry.
But it's surprising, you know, saying these yesterday that how you treat gas and how you treat electricities. Electricity's treated safer.
Yeah.
Because you're working dead. You shouldn't be working on anything live. That's the bottom line. You know, you'll maybe hear guys doing something, but they've got away with it. They shouldn't be doing it. They've just got away with it. That's it. Yeah. So let's go. So if I plug this into here, okay. So all I'm doing is giving myself a means of adapting. So I can then test leads.
Are you creating a circuit in
Yeah, that's all it is. Just give it a return. So, you know, so we've put a plug on to this lead. Technically, you've created a wee small extension lead, but how to know it's alright? How to know it's safe? Yeah, so if I plug this into here, the machine can test, but it can't test it properly. But if I give it a return path, now I can test it. So we'll see. So we'll do the same again. So we'll ask the machine. Any of you know, you see like the Oxman shops, charity shops, you get different ones.
Yeah.
Before they sell lamps or any equipment out the door, they have to have a test done on. They have to prove it's safe to sell it on. So this is where this comes into it. So this machine will do it for us. So we'll tell it what we're going to test. So we're testing a wee small extension lead. Now we just need to bypass this part. But I can go into here now and I can go looking through a menu for what we're trying to test. So you see if I come down to here, just work our way through. So there's a mains lead. Anything up to 6 meters long. There's one up to 12 meters long, 24 meters long. Different types of equipment, right through. So let's go with, so we'll try it on our 6 meter one, just so you see what it says. Because anything up to 6 meters, we'll test it. So let's see what it says about it. So we'll enter that one. And then we'll go with here. So visually, we're okay. Well, you've just put the plug on it, so you'd like to hope so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So we'll pass all them, and then we'll see what the machine says. So if you've got anything wrong inside that plug or inside the device, it'll soon let you know. So all you're looking for here is good. So it's perfectly alright. It's all good. What about our heater then? Did we put a new plug on it? Is it back on?
It's on it.
Yeah? So we'll do the same again. Before we want to use that, we want to test it. So we'll do the same again. So we'll see that wee one, and then we'll call it, doesn't matter what you call it, but we'll go looking for it now. If I press this, oh hang on, it's just jumped on me. Okay, I'll come back. We'll just go to that one there. Right, so we'll call it something here. I'll call it into here. So if I go into my box now, so I'm going to go looking for my heater because it has a plug on it. We need to test it. So let's go mains lead. No. So if I enter this, I'll get a wee menu. So now I go looking for this heater. So this heater has an earth wire going to it. Remember from yesterday and all, safe isolation. What is it? Is it class 1 because it has an earth wire, or is it class 2 because it doesn't have an earth wire?
Class 1.
So class 1. So we'll go looking in here for it. So piece of equipment, class 1. There we go. Just up a wee bit. In there. So now we tell it, yep, that's what I'm looking for. Tell it everything's okay. And then we can visually look at it. Make sure your plug that you installed is okay. So this is going to test it for you, tell you, yep, we're alright. But because we're also involved in a heater now and an earth, we need to give it a continuity. We need to give it a return path. And we can also turn it on to make sure it is safe to turn on. So we need a couple of leads. So what we'll do is, you know, like we did on the earth wires down there, we tested the earth wires, but we had to have a wander lead. Well, this is basically our wander lead. So we'll go with that. So we need this, but I want to turn this on to make sure it is okay. So then I need to give my machine itself then power. I need to power this up. So at the minute it's just working on batteries, which is okay. Still tests, but it won't give it a live test. So we're going to give it a live test. So we'll plug it in. So we'll do that. So now we've got power on. This is on. So now I'm going to turn this on. But we also need to give it continuity. So if I go on to here, like your boiler, will it work?
No.
Same as your boiler, it's covered in paint. So it's not going to work. So what I do is, I go on to where I can get onto. I go on to somewhere where I'm able to touch it. Okay. So then tell it it's okay. And we'll see what she says about it now. So the earth test below 0.7. She's now doing a 500 volt test, so it's okay for it. And now the machine says to me, are you sure you want to put power on? It asks me. So we'll do that. So we'll give it power. And you'll see now, you feel it there quickly, bit of heat. So it's turned it on, and it's passed it. Everything's okay. So I know now that the plug that you've installed is safe to use. So that's the benefits of this. It's telling me it's safe to use. So whenever you stick a plug on, it's a simple test for this machine. It'll do it. And then that machine will remember, record it, keep a record of it. So if you haven't got a plug top then, look, you're going to change. Your option is your spur unit. So we'll convert our flexes to spur units just to have it done. So who hasn't terminated the wee spur unit yet? Who hasn't connected this in yet? So there's more in the bench. Grab another one off the bench there. We'll grab some more flex and we'll go again with it. So it's just getting you used to different terminations, different types of connections. It just keeps you right. sorts of cables we can get you handling, the more we can get you used to what you're working with, what you're going to be doing. So come on down to here and stick on our switches. There's wee one on, see the wall over there to the right? There's one on there, there's a nice one that the flex actually comes out through the front of it. Can you see one of them on that wall? Where,
What do you mean by black?
see the white flex? Yeah, is there one on the end of that?
No.
Right, bring that flex over and we'll get a nice wee switch for the end of it. And we'll terminate it then, put it together. So grab a bit of flex. There's a plug needs finished off as well. Whose is this one? Who's the culprit? Own up.
That might have been.
Nine.
That might have been yours. Might be a bit long sticking out of here. That wouldn't be too safe. So you just need to terminate it, that's all. So make it a bit shorter. So that the cables are actually going inside. You wouldn't leave anybody's property like that. And I hope you haven't done anything in the house like that either.
Touch electric.
There's one of the guys